What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another Euro 2020 fantasy video. In this one, we're going to look at my updated draft. So I did a draft video last week, my first draft one. It's a week later, so I thought I'd do another video on it. A lot of people have asked me about it. And then next week, we'll do the final team selection ahead of the tournament starting. So if you do enjoy these types of videos, please do give them a like. Keep on doing that, supporting the channel. Hit that subscribe button, and let's jump into it. Right, so I'm going to keep it interactive like I did on the last one. So I'm actually going to be playing around with the team live rather than, live is in recorded, but without having a static image. In terms of, match day 1 chip strategy, that hasn't changed. I still think limitless match day 2 is the way that I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to see what happens in match day 3. If I really need the wild card, then I might use it, but I haven't really seen a good reason to not play that strategy. I think the fixtures for 1 and 3 just look pretty good. So that's the way I'm going to play it. Funnily enough, I actually recorded this video yesterday and it was set to go live today. But as always with fantasy football, I then saw what happened in the Holland game and now I'm rethinking what I want to do. So let me talk through some positions. Like some players obviously would have stayed the same. Lukaku's still in there. I've gone for Hazard at the moment. I just feel like Belgium, they got Russia, Finland in that group. I just think they are going to be one of the best teams this tournament, especially in the group stages. And I know there's like worries about Hazard because he hasn't played well for Real Madrid and he hasn't been fully fit this season at all. But he's building up fitness and his record for Belgium is so good. He also should be on penalties. I don't think it's absolutely locked in because I think he's missed some games for Belgium and Lukaku's taken them, I believe. But Hazard was the main penalty taker before that. So that I've got that in mind. And with De Bruyne missing the first game, it also gives me or probably missing the first game, I should say. We don't know that for definite. It gives me an extra 0.5 million to spend because Hazard is actually cheaper. So he's someone I'm looking at. In terms of Holland, right? So this is what I basically said on yesterday's video. The squad gets announced. Silason's not in it. He's confirmed out for the Euros. Straight away, I think, right, Tim Krul is going to be the number one. I get loads of replies from Dutch fans saying, do you know what, it's actually probably going to be Stekelenburg. Then the squad numbers come out. Stekelenburg's got the number 1 shirt. Then Frank de Boer, I'm going to get that wrong constantly. He comes out and says that both goalkeepers are going to play 1 game each in the friendly, so that doesn't help. But obviously with Stekelenburg getting the number 1 shirt and a bunch of Netherlands fans thinking that he was going to be number 1 before that even happened, that makes me think it probably will be him. But then the team sheet got announced last night. He was on there as the goalkeeper. And then obviously the social media team or whatever got it wrong. And it ended up being Tim Krul that played there instead. So I don't know what's going on. And also, Netherlands are moving to 5 at the back. Right, they've said that's what they want to play this tournament. So straight away, someone like Wijndal becomes a much better option because he's probably going to play as a left wing back. But I've been reading a lot of comments on Twitter from Dutch fans, especially ones that are kind of translating what's being said in press conferences and stuff. And the media are not happy about it. I've seen there's analysts on TV, on Dutch TV, not happy about the fact they're switching to a 5 at the back when they've been scoring so many goals with 4-3-3. De Ligt got, I think I saw an interview, I didn't see the interview, but I saw people quoting the interview, and even he was kind of questioning, like, I've never played in a back 3, haven't played left centre-back before. It doesn't seem like a happy camp. They've conceded 2 to Scotland, and look, I'm not writing Scotland off at all. In fact, they've probably got one of the strongest squads I think I've seen with a Scotland team, Robertson, Tierney, McTominay, etc. It's all looking pretty good. But they still conceded 2 goals in a formation they haven't played recently. And there's just so many question marks over the manager. I'm not sure what to make of it. So right now I've got triple Holland. I got a feeling I could move to just 1 potentially. But I am trying to get Stekelenburg in there if he is the number 1 because he's only 4.5 million. Now, before I talk a bit more about Holland, or Netherlands I should say, Sanchez. There's lots of rumours going around that Sanchez for Spain could get the number 1 shirt, which is really, it's kind of crazy, right? Because I don't think he's even played for Spain yet. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think he has. So right now, he's also 4.5 million. So those two rotating or being able to sub in, Spain and Holland, is quite good. Because what a lot of people are looking at is a Dutch goalkeeper plus Hradecky Hradecki, I think it is, from Finland, but they play on the same day in match day 3, so that's not ideal. So I think I'm going to spend 9 million on my keepers, and it's either going to be Stekelenburg and Sanchez, or Krul and Sanchez if we get to know which Netherlands keeper it is and which Spain keeper it is. But if it's not them, and by the way, I have to keep making this smaller. Look, how stupid is this? Right, this is full screen. You make it smaller, and it just puts the players further wide away. But it's the only way to make transfers, right? So if I don't do that, I think I would bring Hradecki back in. I think I'm getting better at pronouncing his name, by the way. So let me just put him back in now. And I think rather than go for the Dutch goalkeeper, bearing in mind Wijndal and a 5 at the back will play left wing back. Granted, I'm not sure how confident I am about their clean sheets now, but he's still an option. And then instead, I would just get the Spanish goalkeeper. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be David De Gea, right? Most of the people seem to be speaking. It's either this guy, Simon, or it's going to be the other guy, Sanchez, right? And so both of these combinations are 9 million. Simon, Hradecki, or Krul/Stekelenburg and Sanchez. So that's probably what I'm doing for goalkeepers. Torres is not in my team right now, but I might put him back in. The other things that I've kind of changed, I've not got Nago in the team anymore on the bench. I've got Yaziki instead. Again, probably pronounced wrong, I know. He's just got a bit of a better attacking return potential for 5.5 million. I could put Alaba in there instead, but I think what I'm not going to do is have Nago in there because I don't think he's even going to start, right? He's probably going to come off the bench. And also, in match day 1, he plays the last day. And if that's the case, well, that is the case, and he doesn't come on, that means you've got to sub someone out that's maybe got 1 or 2 points, and you're not even sure if the person you're subbing in is going to play. It's obviously not much of a risk, but that's worth thinking about. Moving up, let's talk about the defence elsewhere. There's so many 4.5 million defenders. I'm really struggling to find a reason to downgrade my attackers to fund better defenders. Like Denea covers you for Belgium. Good fixtures in 1 and 3, Russia and Finland. Mealy at Denmark. You could go for Kjær instead. I could do that as well, but I just think he's going to be more attacking, and he should be pretty much nailed on. Again, that's Finland and Russia. Really good fixtures. Hinteregger at Austria. So their fixtures are North Macedonia and Ukraine. Not quite as good, but decent enough. And then Wijndal, obviously, for the Netherlands as well as a wing-back. And if he does do really poorly, I can always swap him out anyway. So I think these 4.5 million defenders are really good. And the reason I haven't got Torres is I'm probably going to go for the Spanish keeper instead. I could still double up, right? And I'm still looking at, you know, the fact that the Italy team sheet will come out before the deadline. So if Bastoni gets the nod at centre-back, then he's 4.5 million. I might even double up on the Italian defence. I just think it's going to be that good. But Bonucci's the only one I've spent a bit more on, 5.5 million. I've got to be honest, he's probably not very attacking. Like, he's not like, you know, you're attacking fullback or something like that. Obviously, he could get something from a corner or a free kick, whatever it might be. But if you look at defenders up to his price, like, I think Italy are going to be one of the sure things in the group stages for clean sheets. Like, there isn't too many other options. Like, De Ligt, no way am I spending 5.5 on him. All these other players are obviously really popular. Robertson at Scotland, I'm just not going to trust him over Bonucci. John Stones for England, again, 5.5 million. I think the weakest point of England's team is the centre-back and goalkeeper partnership. Meunier, if he was nailed, I would definitely consider for 5.5 million. I just worry, will Castagna maybe get some minutes there? So I think Bonucci, if I'm going to spend any money extra, he's probably where it's going to be. Let's talk, what else do we have to talk about? Eriksen's in. So basically, the main thing I've done since the last draft is remove Ronaldo, who I do think is a good captain option for the last day, for sure, especially in match day 1. But it's let me get Hazard and Eriksen. Now, Eriksen, like obviously the defenders, is going to have Finland and Russia. He's the talisman. He's on penalties as well. 9 million is quite steep, but I quite like him because I know he's going to play pretty much all those minutes, because I doubt that Denmark are going to be through by match day 3. So they're going to have to play a pretty much full-strength squad. So that's what it allows me to do. And I've downgraded Ronaldo to Moreno. Now, Moreno scored something like, or gotten like 30 attacking returns in 33. And he hasn't played a great deal for Spain, but when he has, his record's pretty decent as well. Now, a lot of people are going to say, is he nailed? And that I don't know. But I've seen a lot of predicted lineups for Spain where they think he's either going to start up front instead of Morata, which I know would probably be quite surprising. But even if that doesn't happen, the thinking is that he might move to the wing. Now, with Spain, they could even play like a false 9 and have Torres there or something like that. We're not quite sure, but I'm going to keep an eye on the friendlies because a lot of Spanish fans have a lot of hope for Moreno, and he's only 6.5 million. If he's not a guaranteed starter, I think what I would have to do is go for a cheaper midfielder, which I wouldn't be that happy about, but it's just going to have to happen. And I would probably make sure I've got enough money to go Hazard back to Ronaldo up front or something like that, because I just think there aren't too many midfielders that are out and out goal scorers, because like I said before, in this game, you know, if you had someone like, I know Salah's obviously not in a European team, but someone like that that's on the wing but going to score a lot of goals for you, they're all forwards in this game for the most part. So Hazard is in there because I think he's probably one of the best attacking midfielders around that price. Most of the others are kind of 7 million. They could be okay, they might not. And there's not too many around the 8 to 10 million mark in the midfield price bracket that are decent. So right now I've got Moreno. I like that move if he's going to start, but that's something I'm going to have to keep an eye on. The other positions are really these two, so Chiesa and Berghuis. And the problem with him now, Berghuis, I don't know how you pronounce it, is if they're playing 5 at the back, he's probably not going to play. He didn't start in the friendly last night. Now, he did come on. I think in the second half, they switched to a 4-3-3, and he came on. Now, his numbers are really good from the Dutch league, and I'd have high hopes for him at 7 million. But if he's not nailed, and they play 5 at the back in the next game as well, and he doesn't start, then he has to go out of my team. And Chiesa, look, I know Turkey's not the easiest game on the opening day, but I think for 7 million, is there many better midfielders? I don't know if there is. But what I would say from this team is we're in kind of placeholder territory where I've got a structure I like, but maybe not the exact player. So Chiesa and Berghuis could be. Let me get the transfers back up. I'm making this a much smaller. Yeah, it's got to be this size. So for 7 million, there's quite a few options. Annoyingly, it doesn't list them in price order. I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't even choose. You can't even choose to have it in price order. But basically, there's Malinowski for the Ukraine, but he plays Netherlands first game. But the third game is against Austria, so I don't mind him. He's potentially an option. There is Mason Mount, and to be honest with you, I do wonder if I'm overlooking England players a little bit, because I know deep down as an England fan that we can disappoint at times, but also we have a really good team, especially in attack right now. And Mount for 7 million will probably be the more advanced of a 3. And we'll be on some set pieces as well. It depends which right back plays. If Trippier plays, then potentially he will take all the set pieces. But if not, Mount could be on them instead. So there's plenty of 7 million midfielders to move to. There isn't many under 7 million that I particularly like. And then I've got Harry Kane. Now, one thing I should show you with this before we get towards the end is the captaincies are a little bit risky with this team, because Lukaku and Hazard obviously play on the same day, but so does Eriksen, right? So if I'm looking at this team here, my captains would have to be, if I just bring the match days up. So Chiesa, if I've got him, if I've swapped him out for a different 7 million midfielder, then it would just be Bonucci because it's the opening day for captain. Then on this day, so day 2 of match day 1, right, you've got Eriksen, Lukaku and Hazard all playing, so I can only choose one. Then you've got Kane. And then on this day, it'd have to be Moreno. And then I've got no one for the last day. So the only way I would risk Moreno as a captain option is if I knew he was 100% nailed. Realistically, it'd be nice to get Lewandowski in here for the Slovakia game, or get Ronaldo in for Hungary. So I'll just quickly play around with that just to make that happen. So Moreno, let's just say I put him to Lewandowski. So 5 million to make up. Realistically, I'd probably have to get rid of Hazard and Eriksen. And the problem is with Spain, I'm not quite sure exactly who's nailed. So is Ferran Torres nailed? Is Olmo nailed? I don't know. But going for Torres gives me a 6 million midfielder instead. So I could just do that, right? Up to 6 million. Let me just fund it here. I don't think there's really anywhere else I'd like to downgrade. I could downgrade Bonucci down to another 4.5, especially if Bastoni starts. But the problem is then I've got 3 7 million midfielders. I just feel like it's too much. So it could be Alaba instead for 5.5, and I've got 0.5 to spend elsewhere. And if I did that, obviously, instead of Lewandowski, I could go for, let me just put him in. Ronaldo instead. So I could just go for that team instead. This is more like how I started it off. Let me just make this a bit bigger, like this. So that would be the bench, the 5.5 million mid, but I'd also have to have another one with Torres to fund Ronaldo, and it just seems too expensive. The other option is just to get rid of Kane. I got to change for the match days. Get rid of Kane and maybe have Depay instead, and have him as the captain for match day 1 in this slot. So then you'd have Italy defender, you'd have Lukaku up front, then you'd have Depay, and then whoever, right, going forward. So you could just get rid of Kane and maybe spend a little bit less money there. 1.5 million saving. And then you've got 1.5 to spend elsewhere. So it could be Berghaus up to like a Bernardo Silva or someone like that, and maybe change Ronaldo to Lewandowski just to have a few more captaincy options. So just to go through again. So I know I'm doing this on the fly, but... so having Bernardo Silva in there, right? So that still gives you 0.5, right? And then all of a sudden, you've got Chiesa if I keep him. Then you got Lukaku. Then you got Depay. Then you got Lewandowski, and then you got you got Bernardo Silva on the last day. So there's plenty of options there for captaincy. It just depends whether I want that many different captaincy options, or do I want just this team, which I feel like if Moreno plays, it's just a solid team all over. It's just the captaincies. We are playing a game where you can switch them. We probably should make the most of that. But if this was just a team for match day 1, where you just had to captain one player, I think it's really solid. Eriksen, Hazard, and Lukaku, I think is good. And I think Hazard is. Let me have a quick look. I bet he's quite. He's only owned by 3%. I think it's a massive differential. So anyway, that is the team right now. Hopefully you were able to follow all that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There we go. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button. Obviously, like I just said, let me know down below what you hate about this team. I'm sure there's quite a bit. And hopefully it was easy enough to follow through. I much prefer doing the videos like that where I talk through my thoughts for the draft. And obviously, like any fantasy football manager, I'm constantly changing it. So next week on Wednesday or Thursday, most likely, I will do a team selection video ahead of match day 1. We might also have a deadline stream. I don't know if that will be popular. Let me know. And now I'm going to do a game week preview next week as well, or a match day preview, right? So that will be more of answering your specific questions around different players and stuff like that. So loads more content to come on the channel. Please do give it a like if you're enjoying it. Hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you again soon.